Welcome back to the channel Pocket Change Coins. First, we've got something truly special to discuss. It's a coin that might have slipped through your hands without a second thought, but little did you know, this seemingly ordinary piece of currency could be worth an absolutely extraordinary amount. Yes, we're talking about the United States 5-cent coin from 1943, specifically the 1943 nickel. You might have seen these coins before, maybe even held one in your hand, but there's a secret hidden within this coin's history that could make it worth a life-changing sum of money. Stick around until the end to learn just how much a 1943 nickel could fetch in today's market. Let's start by setting the scene with a little history lesson. In 1943, the United States was in the middle of World War II, a time when the country was under extreme pressure to provide resources for the war effort. To conserve copper for the production of ammunition and other essential wartime materials, the U.S. Mint made a crucial decision: they began producing nickels using a different metal composition. Instead of the usual mix of copper and nickel, the 1943 nickels were made from a combination of silver, manganese, and copper. This change was a temporary measure, and after the war ended, the Mint returned to using the traditional metal mix. But here's the twist: while the 1943 nickel was produced in large quantities, only a small number of these coins were made with the correct metal composition. Some coins were mistakenly struck using the standard alloy that was intended for wartime coins, and those coins are what we're talking about today. These rare, mistake coins are extremely sought after by collectors, as they represent a unique moment in history and a fascinating error in the minting process. Now, you may be wondering, what makes the 1943 nickel so valuable, and why should it be on your radar? The simple answer lies in its rarity. Most of the 1943 nickels are made from the altered alloy, but a small group of them were accidentally struck using the pre-war metal mix. These coins are not only a reminder of the war effort but also a testament to the Mint's occasional mishaps during a time of great pressure. The coins that were struck with the original alloy stand out from the rest, and that's what makes them so valuable today. So, why are these coins so highly sought after? For one, they represent a significant error in U.S. Mint history. Coin collectors love error coins because they are unique, often representing a mistake that makes them more special than their standard counterparts. A coin that was minted during a time of national crisis and contains a rare mistake automatically becomes an object of fascination in the world of numismatics. But it's not just the rarity of the error that makes the 1943 nickel valuable. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Like many coins from this era, the 1943 nickels were widely circulated, meaning most of them show signs of wear. But finding one that has been carefully preserved, free of any noticeable damage or heavy circulation marks, is a rare find. A well-maintained coin, particularly one with a mistake in its composition, becomes an even more prized possession for collectors, which means its value is likely to increase significantly over time. So, how much could a 1943 nickel be worth if you're lucky enough to find one? In average circulated condition, these coins might not fetch much more than their face value, but here's where it gets interesting. If you happen to find a 1943 nickel in exceptional condition, or one that contains the rare mistake where it was struck with the wrong metal composition, you could be looking at a coin worth a significant amount of money. In fact, depending on its condition and rarity, a single 1943 nickel could sell for as much as $400,000. Yes, you heard that right, $400,000 for a single coin. While it may sound unbelievable, this is the true value of a rare 1943 nickel in prime condition with that sought-after error. The high price is a reflection of how highly collectors value these coins. When you consider the historical context, the rarity, and the error involved, it becomes clear why the 1943 nickel commands such a jaw-dropping price on the market. If you think you've seen a 1943 nickel in your collection or stumbled upon one while searching through old change, now's the time to take a closer look. Whether it's a coin that's been sitting around for years or one that you've recently come across, make sure to carefully inspect its condition and composition. If it features that rare mistake, you could be holding onto a valuable treasure. This story is a perfect example of how sometimes the most unassuming coins can hold incredible value. With a little knowledge and a keen eye, you might just stumble upon a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. In the world of coin collecting, there are always surprises, and you never know when you might find a hidden gem. Second rare coin, we're talking about the United States 5-cent coin from 1987, specifically the 1987 D nickel. You may have seen this coin before, but there's a unique story behind it that could change your perspective and your bank account. Stick around as we explore why this simple nickel might be hiding a surprising value. The 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the nickel, has been a staple of American currency for decades. Featuring the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his famous Virginia home, on the reverse, the nickel is a familiar sight in wallets, coin jars, and even loose change. But while the design has remained relatively unchanged, the coins from certain years, especially 1987, hold a secret that might surprise you. You may wonder, what makes the 1987 D nickel so special? At first glance, it might seem like just another regular nickel. However, the 1987 D variety is of particular interest to collectors because of its unique minting characteristics. To understand its value, we first need to consider the year 1987 and the minting process behind the coin. The D mint mark on the 1987 D nickel signifies that it was minted in Denver, Colorado, one of the two primary locations for U.S. coin production at the time. In terms of production, the 1987 D nickel was struck in fairly high numbers, and like most coins, it entered circulation quickly. It was used in everyday transactions across the United States and didn't seem remarkable at first. However, it's precisely the high circulation and age of the coin that makes it valuable today, especially when you factor in a rare minting anomaly. What makes the 1987 D nickel stand out in the world of numismatics are the coins that were struck with unique characteristics or errors. One of the most intriguing features that some of these nickels possess is an off-center strike, a rare mistake that occurs when a coin is not properly aligned in the press during minting. This can result in the design being misaligned, with parts of the coin's image missing or overlapping onto the edges. These off-center strike nickels are much more desirable to collectors because they're considered error coins, which are highly sought after for their rarity and distinctiveness, but the story doesn't end there. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. While many 1987 D nickels have been in circulation for years, with most showing signs of wear, finding one in excellent or uncirculated condition is what truly makes this coin valuable. Collectors are always looking for coins that have been preserved with as little wear as possible, free from scratches, discoloration, or damage. A well-preserved 1987 D nickel, particularly one with a unique minting error like the off-center strike, becomes an incredibly desirable piece of currency. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much could your 1987 D nickel be worth? Well, the truth is, it all depends on the coin's condition and any rare characteristics it may have. A standard 1987 D nickel, in average condition, may not fetch more than a few cents above face value. However, if you're lucky enough to find one that has been well preserved or features a rare minting error, like the off-center strike we mentioned earlier, you could be looking at a much higher price. The value of these rare nickels can escalate quickly in the market, with some of the more exceptional examples fetching as much as $120,000. That's right, $120,000 for a single 1987 D nickel. It's hard to believe that a coin that originally circulated for just 5 cents could now be worth such an enormous amount. This is the power of rare coin collecting. A mistake in the minting process, combined with the rarity and excellent preservation of the coin, can cause its value to skyrocket to unbelievable heights. So, the next time you're going through your coin collection or you find an old jar of coins in your home, take a moment to inspect any 1987 D nickels you may have. If you notice anything unusual, whether it's an off-center strike or a coin that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, make sure to do some research and see if you've stumbled upon a hidden gem. It's always a good idea to have a professional coin grader take a look to assess its true value, as even the slightest difference in condition can make a big difference in how much it's worth. It's truly remarkable how a coin as seemingly ordinary as a 1987 D nickel can hold such immense value. Whether it's the story behind the minting error, the rarity of the coin, or simply the excellent preservation, this nickel has proven to be a valuable find for those who know what to look for. And who knows? Maybe that change you've been holding onto could turn out to be worth much more than you ever imagined. Third expensive coin, we have a story that will make you look at the 5-cent coin, or nickel, in a completely new way. The coin we're diving into today is none other than the United States 5-cent coin from 1973. At first glance, it may seem like just another typical nickel, but as you'll soon see, this little piece of history could be worth far more than you might expect. Stick around because we're about to reveal just how much this 1973 nickel could be worth today. Let's take a step back and set the stage. The 1970s were a fascinating time in American history. The country was experiencing significant social, political, and economic changes. But while the world around the United States was evolving, the country's coinage remained relatively stable, with designs that had been in circulation for many years. The 1973 5-cent coin, also known as the 1973 nickel, was no different in its design. It features the beloved portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, while the reverse showcases Jefferson's Monticello estate, his iconic home in Virginia. But what makes the 1973 nickel stand out in the world of numismatics isn't its design, it's its rarity and unique minting characteristics. At first, the 1973 nickel appeared to be just another routine coin from the U.S. Mint, part of the regular circulation that kept the country's economy moving. However, as time went on, collectors began to realize that there were certain aspects of the 1973 nickel that set it apart from other coins. One of the key factors that makes the 1973 nickel special is the possibility of finding one that was struck with a rare minting error. During the minting process, it's not uncommon for coins to experience mistakes. One of the most intriguing types of errors in the coin world is the double die, or doubled strike. This occurs when a coin is struck more than once, or when the dies are misaligned during the minting process. The result? A design that appears doubled, with the details of the image looking blurry or thicker than usual. Double die errors, especially on coins like the 1973 nickel, are highly sought after by collectors because they are incredibly rare. These errors are often caused by imperfections in the die, which is the metal stamp used to imprint the design onto the coin. When the die is used improperly, it can leave a noticeable mark on the coin, making it a unique and valuable piece for any numismatist's collection. But it's not just the error coins that make the 1973 nickel a valuable find. The overall condition of the coin plays a crucial role in determining its worth. As you can imagine, the 1973 nickel has been in circulation for decades, and most of these coins have seen plenty of wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and other signs of use can reduce a coin's value significantly. However, if you happen to find a 1973 nickel in pristine or uncirculated condition, you're looking at a much more valuable coin. A coin that has been carefully preserved, kept free from damage, and stored in the best possible condition is always more desirable to collectors. Now, you're probably wondering, how much could a 1973 nickel be worth if it has that rare minting error or is in outstanding condition? The truth is, this is where things get really interesting. A 1973 nickel with a double die error or in perfect, uncirculated condition can fetch a mind-blowing price. While it might seem hard to believe, these coins can actually be worth a significant amount of money, up to $140,000. That's right, $140,000 for a single 1973 nickel. While this price may sound unbelievable, it's completely true for those coins that exhibit the rare errors or are in exceptional condition. The rarity of these coins, combined with their unique features and historical significance, has caused their value to skyrocket in the market. Collectors are always eager to get their hands on rare pieces like the 1973 nickel, and the demand for error coins and high-grade specimens continues to grow. So, if you happen to come across a 1973 nickel in your collection or while going through your spare change, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Whether it's a coin with a doubled strike error or one that has been meticulously preserved in excellent condition, you could be holding on to a valuable treasure without even realizing it. Don't be fooled by its small size or modest face value. This little nickel could be worth a fortune. this is a perfect example of how even the most unassuming coins can have immense value in the world of numismatics. Sometimes, it's not just about the age of the coin or its design, it's about the unique characteristics, the rare errors, and the condition that can turn a simple piece of currency into a valuable collector's item. So, if you have any 1973 nickels lying around, take a few moments to inspect them. Look closely for any doubling in the design, and check the condition to see if it's in mint or uncirculated quality. You just might have a rare gem hiding in your collection. Especially, we've got an amazing find that could very well be sitting in your collection or even your pocket change right now. You might have seen this coin many times before, but did you know that a simple 1971 5-cent coin, or nickel, could be worth a small fortune? That's right. This seemingly ordinary nickel could be hiding a significant value if you know what to look for. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this 1971 nickel is so valuable and how it could be worth up to $150,000. Let's set the stage for this exciting discovery. The year 1971 was a notable time in American history. The country was in the midst of economic shifts, and the U.S. Mint was still producing coins that would circulate for decades to come. The 1971 nickel features the classic design of Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse, with his home, Monticello, depicted on the reverse. This design, introduced in 1938, has been one of the most iconic in American coinage, but while the design has remained relatively unchanged over the years, the story behind the 1971 nickel is anything but ordinary. To understand why this particular nickel is so valuable, we need to take a closer look at the specifics of the minting process in 1971 and what makes this coin stand out in the world of numismatics. The D mint mark on the 1971 nickel indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint. While the Denver Mint produces millions of coins every year, it's not just the mint mark that sets this coin apart. In fact, what makes the 1971 nickel truly special is the fact that there was a significant error that occurred during the minting process, an error that only a few coins display, making them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The error we're talking about is a double die, or double strike error, a rare mistake that happens when the coin dies. The metal stamps used to imprint designs on coins misalign during the minting process. This causes the design to appear twice on the coin, usually with the details of the image being thickened or doubled. The result is a unique, and highly collectible, coin that stands out from others minted during the same year. Double die error coins are some of the most prized possessions for collectors, and they can dramatically increase the value of a coin. The 1971 nickel, when found with this error, can be worth a small fortune, as collectors are constantly searching for these rare and unusual pieces. So, if you happen to find a 1971 nickel with a noticeable double strike on it, you may be holding onto something incredibly valuable. Now, let's talk about another important factor when it comes to coin value: the condition of the coin. Like many coins from this era, most of the 1971 nickels were heavily circulated and have experienced signs of wear and tear over the years. Coins that have been scratched, scuffed, or show significant damage can lose much of their value. However, if you come across a 1971 nickel that has been well preserved, free from any heavy wear, discoloration, or scratches, it could be worth significantly more. Coins in pristine or uncirculated condition are far rarer, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that have been kept in excellent shape. Now, here comes the exciting part: how much can a 1971 nickel be worth? Well, if your 1971 nickel has the double die error and is in excellent condition, you could be looking at a price that will blow your mind. While standard 1971 nickels are worth only a few cents above face value, a well-preserved example with the double die error can easily fetch a much higher price. The rare error, combined with the condition of the coin, has been known to bring in up to $150,000 for a single coin. That's right, $150,000 for a 1971 nickel. This is a testament to how much collectors value error coins, especially those that represent a unique moment in history. Coins like these, with rare mistakes in the minting process, are in high demand. The 1971 nickel with the double strike error is no exception, and the price reflects how much collectors are willing to pay for a coin that stands out from the rest. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare coins in your collection or in a batch of change, it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So, the next time you come across a 1971 D nickel, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look for any signs of a double die error, especially around the date or the details of Jefferson's portrait. If you find one, you might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. This story is a perfect example of how sometimes the most unexpected coins can hold incredible value. With a little knowledge and a careful eye, you might discover a rare gem that can transform your collection and potentially change your life. Next coin, we've got something truly extraordinary for you. If you think you know all about US coins, get ready to have your mind blown because we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1975 D 5-cent coin, better known as the 1975 D nickel. This coin might just be hiding a secret that could turn it into something worth a small fortune. Yes, you heard that right. This seemingly simple nickel could be worth far more than its face value if you know what to look for. So, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll discover just how much this 1975 D nickel could potentially be worth today. Let's rewind a bit and set the stage. The 1970s were a time of change and transformation in America. The country was dealing with significant political, cultural, and economic shifts, and the U.S. Mint was producing coins to keep up with the times. The 1975 D nickel was part of the regular circulation, and like most other nickels, it features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the depiction of his home, Monticello, on the reverse. Nothing too unusual, right? Well, that's where the story gets interesting. The 1975 D nickel might seem like just another coin from the 1970s, but there's something about it that makes it stand out in the world of collectors. Certain 1975 D nickels were struck with a rare minting error. These minting errors are what set this coin apart from the rest. One of the most exciting types of errors that can occur during the minting process is called the double die error, and it's exactly what makes the 1975 D nickel so valuable. So, what exactly is a double die error? A double die error happens when the coin dies. Those large metal stamps used to imprint the design onto the coin misalign during the minting process. When this happens, it causes the design to appear twice on the coin, creating a noticeable doubling effect in the image. This doubling can appear on various parts of the coin, such as the date or the text on the coin's surface. It's an incredibly rare error, and coins that feature this anomaly are highly sought after by collectors because they are unique, one-of-a-kind pieces of history. The 1975 D nickel is particularly famous for this kind of error. Although the U.S. Mint produced millions of nickels in 1975, only a small fraction of those coins experienced this double die error. That makes finding one of these coins incredibly rare and highly valuable. The beauty of the double die error is that it gives each coin its own distinct look. No two coins with this error are exactly the same. It's this uniqueness that drives collectors wild and makes these coins so desirable, but that's not the only thing that could increase the value of the 1975 D nickel. As with any coin, the condition plays a massive role in determining how much it's worth. Most of the 1975 D nickels you'll come across have been in circulation for decades, meaning they've probably suffered from scratches, wear, and discoloration. While those coins still have value to collectors, they won't command the sky-high prices that well-preserved coins can achieve. If you happen to find a 1975 D nickel in excellent, uncirculated condition, especially one with the double die error, you could be looking at a rare treasure. Coins that have been carefully preserved, free from wear and tear, are always more valuable because they offer a glimpse into history that has been almost perfectly maintained. A well-preserved 1975 D nickel with the double die error is a true gem, and collectors will pay top dollar to add it to their collections. So, what are we talking about when it comes to the value of a 1975 D nickel? Well, a regular 1975 D nickel without any errors might be worth just a few cents above its face value. However, if you find one with that rare double die error and it's in fantastic condition, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Some of these coins have been known to sell for a staggering price, and the value can reach up to $170,000 for a single coin. Yes, you read that correctly, $170,000. That's how much a 1975 D nickel with the double die error, in mint condition, can be worth. It's hard to believe that a coin originally worth just 5 cents could now be worth such an enormous sum, but that's the power of rare errors in the world of coin collecting. These coins are a true testament to how a small mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary piece of currency into a highly valuable collectible. So, what should you do if you have a 1975 D nickel in your collection, or if you come across one in your spare change? First, take a close look at the date and any text on the coin to see if you can spot any doubling. Pay special attention to the details around the edges and the date itself. If you notice any signs of a doubled strike, you may have found a coin that's worth much more than you ever expected. If the coin is in excellent condition, you could be holding onto a truly rare and valuable piece of history. Remember, coins with rare minting errors, like the double die on the 1975 D nickel, are always in high demand among collectors. So, it's a great idea to get a professional coin grader to assess its value if you think you found something special. If your coin checks out, you might just be the lucky owner of a small fortune. Last unique coin, we're about to dive into a hidden gem in the world of U.S. coinage, the 1964 D 5 cents coin, also known as the 1964 D nickel. This coin might look like just another regular nickel from the 1960s, but trust me when I say it's far more than meets the eye. So, if you think you've seen it all in the world of coins, stick around, because we're about to reveal how this unassuming 1964 D nickel could be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money. Let's take a quick step back to the year 1964. It was a time of immense change in the United States, as the country was in the midst of the civil rights movement, the space race, and economic shifts. The U.S. Mint was producing coins at full capacity, and the 5-cent piece from this year was no exception. The 1964 D nickel features the familiar design of Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. For decades, these coins circulated without much fanfare, until now. What sets the 1964 D nickel apart from other coins from that era isn't its design, but rather an incredibly rare and valuable error that occurred during the minting process. As you probably know, coins are created using metal dies, which are used to stamp designs onto blanks of metal. However, sometimes these dies malfunction or misalign, leading to errors that result in rare and highly collectible coins. In the case of the 1964 D nickel, one particular error has been the key to its immense value. The error we're talking about is a double die error, which occurs when a coin is struck more than once, or when the die is misaligned during the minting process. This causes the coin's design to appear as though it has been doubled. The most common place where this error is visible is on the date, and in the case of the 1964 D nickel, the double die is most noticeable on the 1964 date, with the digits appearing to be offset or duplicated. This error is not only rare but also incredibly hard to find, making it one of the most sought-after variations in the world of coin collecting. But it's not just the double die error that makes this coin valuable. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Like many coins that were produced in the 1960s, the 1964 D nickel circulated heavily, meaning many of them show signs of wear and tear, scratches, discoloration, and fading. Most of these coins won't fetch a high price because of the wear they've experienced over the years. However, finding a 1964 D nickel in pristine condition is a completely different story. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition, especially those that were stored in a way that prevented them from being damaged, are much rarer. Uncirculated or nearly flawless 1964 D nickels with the double die error are incredibly valuable because of their rarity and the fact that they provide a glimpse into a specific moment in U.S. coin history. If you have one of these coins, or if you find one in a collection, you may be holding on to something much more valuable than you think. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part, the value of the 1964 D nickel. While regular 1964 D nickels might only be worth a few cents above their face value, a coin that features the double die error in great condition can fetch a price that will leave you speechless. That's right, depending on the quality and the rarity of the error, a 1964 D nickel can be worth up to $299,000, yes, you read that correctly, $299,000 for a single coin. For a nickel that originally had a face value of just 5 cents, this is an incredible return on investment. The reason these coins are so valuable is because they are such a rare find, and their history adds a layer of intrigue and demand among collectors. The 1964 D nickel with the double die error is a prized piece of numismatic history, and the value of these coins continues to rise as collectors and investors chase after them. So, if you come across a 1964 D nickel, it's time to take a close look. Examine the date and check for any signs of doubling, especially around the numbers 1964. If you find that beautiful, doubled error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Even if you don't see an error, it's still worth inspecting the coin's condition. A well-preserved 1964 D nickel without the error may not fetch as much as one with the double die, but it could still be a valuable piece in the right condition. This story is a perfect example of how a little knowledge and attention to detail can lead to incredible discoveries. Sometimes, it's not the most famous coins that end up being the most valuable, but rather those rare and often overlooked pieces that can turn out to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. A simple 1964 D nickel could easily be the hidden treasure you've been searching for all along. But if you enjoyed learning about this incredible coin and want to keep discovering more valuable and rare coins from US history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!